Normally when you get a video from me, it's from a week ago or a couple of days ago. This video is a little bit different. This video is from the past. So, for that, we have to go back in time.
Hello and welcome to the video. Today is a little special event. It's the Brad Philpot Channel Members Challenge. And the reason we are having it is because South Coast Karting have a new track layout and some new karts, and they wanted Brad, a bunch of his members, and some other karting content creators to come on down. So the list of people that we have coming is, of course, myself, the minnow of the bunch, followed by, of course, our host, Bradley Philpot. We also have Sam Dimolo, which is Wolmid. We also have Callum McIntyre from Callum Races on YouTube. We have Spanners Ready from Missed Apex. And we also have from Perico Karting, Kyle Edwards. And last and definitely not least, who I definitely didn't forget, Scott Stuffeyy from the YouTube channel Stuffeyy. Sorry, Scott. So I will now embark on the 2-hour journey down to Christchurch in Bournemouth. So we'll catch up with you when we're at the track. Let's get going.
So here's the format for the day. We are split into 3 random groups and sent out for practice and qualifying. It's about 4 laps of practice and 4 laps of qualifying. I can't remember, it was back in February and I'm old. And also the footage has mysteriously vanished. So anyway, moving on. Now, the first 4 laps of practice don't count, which is lucky because if you hit a cone, and I did 3 times, your laps get binned off. In the races, hitting the cone means a 5-second penalty. You need to remember that because it's going to be important later.
Oh, he's got a penalty! He's just hit the cone!
Once everyone's qualified, you're sorted into 3 pre-finals. The top 3 from each pre-final goes up to the next final, and then that ends up in the A final. And the A final, the winner decides the winner of the day. Simple, right? Good. I just missed out on qualifying for the A final because, as Spanners puts it,
logistical mass.
Everyone ahead of me just weighs less. That's my story, I'm sticking to it, so shut up. And wouldn't you know it, it just so happens, for the B final, I am starting it alongside my friend Spanners himself. So, we made a deal that there is no fighting. Team tactics.
Multi-21 then. Yeah, multi-21.
Spoiler alert, that lasted all of 5 seconds.
Okay, so we are in the B final, starting P2 for the B final. So yeah, I have no idea how good or not good anyone is. However, the problem I have is we are doing a standing start. And obviously being a heavier guy, that is going to affect me off of the start. Oh, I know this kid is very, very light. So I think we might struggle to beat him. So we're going to work together. Me and Spanners have already made a plan that we're going to work together. I'm not allowed to move across until after I'm past the cone. So I would not be surprised if Spanners is already up the inside of me by the time we get to turn 1. But we will see. Right guys, 4 red lights, go green, stay in your channel, watch the light.
So it's 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights. Lights out and away we go! And I get off a good start, but as expected, Spanners gets a good start as well. He is right on the inside of me. I squeeze him as much as I can, as he gives me enough room through there. I give him a little bit of a nudge on the exit, but it's a good start, and we are off and we are away to go and chase after Joe.
Alright, so it's a good start. A little bit of contact with Spanners. That's fine.
However, Spanners didn't think it was fine. He went to TikTok to go on a tirade.
Here's how Alex Van Gien betrayed me at karting. Me and Alex just had to finish in the top 3, so we had this pact. We won't mess with each other. We won't fight with each other. We are in this together. Here's how it played out. So As the lights go out, Alex Van Gien is on my right-hand side. It's a really tight left-right, so Alex is going to leave me room, right? No. Look at that squeeze. That is a really, really aggressive squeeze. But after that, I keep up my end of the bargain. Look, as we go through, I white line that inside, and by all rights, I can put him in that tyre barrier on the right. Look how tight I keep it. Look how tight I keep it. We lose track of the leaders, and that's my reward. That's my reward. I'm going to play this again. Look at that. My reward for giving him all the room in the world is a little hit. But no, top 3. I remember the pact. I remember the oath. Look at me. Look how early I lift there to defend the inside line and let Alex go off into P2. Now, I don't want to be hyperbolic, but that is the greatest ever betrayal in karting ever. Betrayal.
So, while Spanners was spouting rubbish and I gave him plenty of room, Joe up front has got about a 2-second gap from me, and I don't know if I've got the pace to actually catch him up. So all I've got to do is get my head down and push as hard as I can. However...
Oh, he's got a penalty! He just hit the cone! He just hit the cone!
He indeed did just hit the cone, which means he has a 5-second penalty. However, in my head, I thought it was a 3-second penalty, so I'm still pushing with all of my might to make sure I stay within that 3-second gap.
Is it 5 seconds or is it 3? 1, 2, 3. Oh, he might still beat me because he's pulling away. But this kid weighs like 50 kilos.
That's it, Alex. Keep making excuses.
So, there's no shame in losing out to him. I've got a nice big gap to Spanners, who's holding on to third nicely. He's always been a good defender.
So, while there's not much going on in my race, let's put this up here and let's go check in on Spanners, shall we? From the viewpoint of Lucien Cockrell, he is behind Quinn, he is behind Paul Hanley, and he is behind Spanners. So, let's see how they get on. So at the moment Lucien is a little bit far back, but because Spanners and Paul are fighting so hard, he is going to catch the back of them pretty quickly. Paul has a really good run out of this corner and gets right up behind Spanners, and I think he might give him a little bit of a nudge into the braking zone, sending Spanners a little bit wide. Paul goes up the inside, but Spanners has that inside line, so there's nothing Paul can really do about it. Spanners isn't happy about being bumped off, and of course he shouldn't be, but it's alright. Paul's still behind. Spanners still has that P3, but it has now let Lucien catch right back up to the back of them. As we come into the hairpin, Spanners goes very, very defensive, doesn't want Paul to have any chance of having a sniff up the inside. Paul is trying every which way he possibly can to try and make a move, but he cannot do it. However, we have Lucien, who is now eyeing up Quinn, who has become a little bit separated from Paul and Spanners, as Paul, who is trying all different lines, goes a little bit wide through that right hander there and gives Spanners some breathing room. Lucien has a look up the inside of Quinn, but the move is not on there, but maybe he'll be able to eye him up next time. Spanners seems to have Paul under control now. Paul is still looking in every single which way he possibly can, but I think Spanners has figured out how to defend here as he goes to the inside again to stop Paul having a lunge up the inside. I don't think Paul was close enough to have a lunge. Paul trying to cut the corner a little bit more there to get himself a better run out of this section to possibly get a run towards the last corners. Again, Paul is just not close enough, but Lucien is. Lucien gets a great run up the inside of Quinn and pulls a fabulous move up the inside into the hairpin. Now as Lucien sets his eye on Paul, and Paul still has his eye on Spanners. Spanners has a glance over his shoulder. He knows Paul is still there. He is defending hard from him. Does not want to give up this P3 because P3 guarantees you a position into the A final. And if you do not get through to the A final, that is your day done. So now Lucien is getting very, very close. So Lucien could now cause Paul a problem, as Paul now has to go from just attacking to attacking and defending, as Spanners has managed to get himself a little bit of a gap and pull away from Paul a little bit. So Paul does not have a chance to get anywhere near him, but they come up to the finish line and Spanners makes it into P3 for the final. What a race!
Is it 3 or 5 for a penalty, for a cone? Ooh. Because he got a penalty, so it'll be very good. I don't know what the gap was. It was more than 3, I don't know. Oh, I saw it. I was like, he's in the cone. But you're too quick. I can't. You're way quicker than me. But we had a massive gap. They were fighting. Good job, well driven. How'd you do? 4. I saw you lot battling.
Mate, you won.
Huh?
You won.
Did they win in the end?
Yeah,
What was the gap?
3.8.
I was counting him right. I was counting as he went past the line. I'll take that. Victory!
So, as I lost all my post-race comments, what I'm going to do now is show you a couple of snippets of a couple of the funny things that happened between me and a couple of the other content creators before we even got racing. As you can see, the nice new fresh tarmac and spanners lying on the floor.
Have I got this right? We're all pretending we're looking at details that are going to matter in a minute.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Me, you, Spanners and Paul
are going to be colliding in that.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you think any kind of solid lap will get us out of the C final?
I have honestly, Spanners, I have no idea, and I'm terrified that I'm going to be last. I'm going to go home early.
That's the thing that's totally unknown to everyone. Even Brad is like the ability. Like even Brad doesn't know what some of. You know,
oh no, come on!
What his
some people? Look around, look.
Yeah,
I'm better than that guy, surely. He looks terrible.
You're getting an interview, mate.
All right, can I take the surgical gloves off?
You can take the surgical gloves off. Is that the secret to being fast?
No.
What is the reason for the surgical gloves?
Because I was an idiot and I decided to buy some motorbike gloves because I fall quite prone to the cold. So I thought, well, motorbikes go quite fast. They should be able to withstand the cold. What I did not think about is these are ventilated, so they just make my hands even colder.
You bought summer bike gloves?
Yes, I did.
Brilliant.
120 quid well spent.
Experience in a car. Put me right off there, Brad.
Right, enough of that. Back to racing.
That was nearly a big crash! Brad, we did it! I think I'm sat a bit close. That's wait till we stop. I'll be stopped for a bit. I'll go just in front of Spanners. That's a better seat position. And then it'll be honestly, how do people not know where they are? You should know where you're starting. So, I have an advantage over Johnny, because Johnny has picked up a cold car. Because he obviously wasn't happy with the car he was drawn. But also, Johnny is an awesome go-karter. But I would really like to beat Johnny. We're not that different in weight. He's a tiny bit lighter than me. I would like to be on the inside. I'm on the outside.
So we have 1 light, we have 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights. Lights go and away we go! We get a good start, we pull up behind the number 13, Johnny Elliott is still just ahead of us, but we get a better run than him into turn 1. However, he just smashes it off into the corner, but because he's rubbish, he then goes wide into turn 2, and I easily and skillfully go up the inside of him because he's rubbish. Sorry, Johnny. And we head off after number 13 in this really long train of fast karts. Where can we go? Can we make ourselves better? Can we move up the field? Yeah, so not much else happens to me in this race. I cling on to the back of this group and I try and stay as close as I can, but they're all that little bit quicker than me. They're all lighter than me. That's still my excuse. Still shut up. So where the real action was up the front, where Perico Karting was defending really hard from Brad Philpot and Sean Curtis for the win. Let's cut to some off-board shots of this epic battle up the front from Callum Races. As you can see, the class of these three up the front has given them a massive gap to the field already. As Sean is pushing Brad, Perico has a little bit of a lead. Then there's the other massive group behind, and then there's me, and then there's Johnny, and then there's Spatters. There he is. But as you can see, Perico is now having to defend quite hard. He knows where the overtaking spots are on this circuit, so he knows where to defend. He is a very experienced karter. However, he has the uber experienced Brad Philpot behind him. I'm not quite sure of Sean's credentials, but that is the case of things so far, as Brad is having another look at Perico, but he can't quite get past him. But again, this is the difficulty. When you have a whole bunch of really fast drivers on a tight, twisty circuit, overtaking is nigh on impossible, especially when the person up front knows exactly what they're doing. Oh look, there's me again, and there's Johnny, still behind me, and there's Spatters. Anyway, I think we are now coming into the final lap. Perico still has the lead over Brad Philpot. Brad is having his last little attempt as he climbs the curb to try and get past him. He then takes the wider line to try and undercut him into the corner. If Perico makes any form of mistake, Brad is there to pounce, but he's not, as Perico passes the line and celebrates his fantastic victory. Well done to Perico.
That was good fun. I really enjoyed that. Thank you, South Coast Karting. This has been great fun. Oh. Hey!
Oh God!
Hold on, man.
Thank you. I had to go
Every time I had a chance, you had it covered.
I had to go full defence for that one. Yeah.
You chose the right lap. Well done. Good win.
Yes. Oh my God.
So that was it. I finished the event 8th or 9th, but it didn't matter really what the positions were. This whole event was about South Coast Karting and their new circuit layout and their new karts. And it's also for Brad to give back to his channel members who've been subscribed to him for a long time and give them a little something in return.
Thank you. Thank you.
And just as everyone knows, the rule is that if you win this event, sadly you can't come back next time. But
It's only fair to give the closing words of this video to the event host, Bradley Philpot. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe, and goodbye.
about as good as it can be. I obviously deliberately threw the win in the final so one of my channel members could win, because it would have looked awful if I won it. And no, I had a great time. I really like the track. It really suits my style of liking the precision of indoor tracks, but also wanting to use a bit of curb and having some grip. So to the pub.